Namaskar. A warm welcome to World News, an Indian perspective on All India Radio. This is Renuka, and with me is Manoj Singh Rana, bringing glimpses of major developments of the day from across the globe. Over the next half an hour, we shall bring you the latest from the world of politics, economy, sports, entertainment, and more. As the world fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin the program with a message of caution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi asserts success of Vocal for Local and self-reliant India depends on the youth. 9th round of talks between India and China underway at Moldo near LAC to defuse border standoff. Pentagon says the US remains opposed to any unilateral attempts to change the status quo in East China Sea. United Nations cautioned its agency staff not to travel by any Pakistan-registered airline over safety concerns. Grand finale of the International Film Festival of India at Panaji in Goa. Golden Peacock Award for Danish movie Into the Darkness. And in badminton, Spain's Carolina Marin defeats top seed Tai Tzu Ying to claim women's single title at Thailand Open. India hailed the accomplishments of Daughters of India on National Girl Child Day. The day is celebrated every year on 24th of January to mark the support and opportunities to the girls of the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi saluted the daughters of the country and their accomplishments in various fields. In a series of tweets, the Prime Minister said the government has undertaken many initiatives that focus on empowering the girl child, including access to education, better healthcare, and improving gender sensitivity. He said it is also a day to specially appreciate all those working towards empowering the girl child and ensuring she leads a life of dignity and opportunity. In January 2015, the government had launched Beti Bachao Beti Padhao BBBP scheme to address the issue of declining child sex ratio. The BBBP scheme has been aiming at changing the mindset of the public to acknowledge the rights of the girl child. While launching the initiative then, Mr. Modi had said that there is an urgent need to reduce the increasing imbalance amongst the girl and boy child for the betterment of the society.
आज भी हमारे देश में 1000 बालक पैदा हो तो उसके सामने 1000 बालिकाएं भी पैदा होनी चाहिए, वरना संसार चक्र नहीं चल सकता। आज पूरे देश में ये चिंता का विषय है। मैं जरा माताओं से पूछ रहा हूं, अगर बेटी पैदा नहीं होगी तो बहू कहां से लाओगे? और इसलिए जो हम चाहते हैं वो समाज भी तो चाहता है। हम ये तो चाहते हैं कि बहू तो हमें पढ़ी लिखी मिले, लेकिन बेटी को पढ़ाना है तो 50 बार सोचने के लिए मजबूर हो जाते हैं.
India and China are across the table for the 9th time today to focus and work out the disengagement in the eastern Ladakh region. Talks began at Moldo BPO on the China side between the military commanders of India and China this morning. Sources said that India would focus and insist China to implement the 5-point agreement decided between External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi at a meeting in Moscow in September last year on the sidelines of a Shanghai Cooperation Organization SCO conclave. On the other hand, the Indian Army is well prepared even in the freezing temperatures on the line of actual control in eastern Ladakh region. With frequent and morale-boosting visits of senior officials of Army like COAS General M.M. Naravane and Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat, the armed forces are highly motivated. Ladakh district authorities have also opened the world-famous tourist destination Pangong Lake for tourists early this month.
In China, 11 of the 22 miners trapped for 2 weeks in a gold mine in China's eastern Shandong province have been rescued on Sunday, as reported by the state media. 22 miners got trapped about 600 meters underground since the mine blast on 10th of January in Chishia under the city of Yangtai in Shandong province with no communication to the surface. One worker died from a head wound following the explosion that deposited massive amounts of rubble in the shaft. The fate of 10 others who were underground at the time is unknown. A report from our Beijing correspondent.
After 2 weeks, rescuers made huge breakthrough today. Just days before, they had estimated that it might take another 2 weeks to free the workers Around a week after the explosion, rescue workers managed to send food, medicine and other supplies down to the trapped miners through several boreholes drilled into the earth, but drilling to bring them out was extremely tough. Such protracted and expensive rescue efforts are relatively new in China's mining industry, which used to average 5,000 deaths per year. In an industry long blighted by disasters and high death tolls, a new crackdown was ordered after two incidents in southwestern Chongqing province late last year killed 39 miners. Increased provision has improved safety, although demand for coal and precious metals continues to prompt corner cutting. The cause of the accident is under investigation. Authorities have detained mine managers for delaying reporting the accident, and two government officials were dismissed from their posts for dereliction of duty. Anshuman Mishra for World News, All India Radio, Beijing.
U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin held a telephonic conversation with his Japanese counterpart Nobuo Kishi on the security situation in the Indo-Pacific region, particularly the East China Sea territorial disputes. The Pentagon said that the United States remains opposed to any unilateral attempts to change the status quo in the East China Sea. Defense Secretary Austin affirmed that the Senkaku Islands were covered by Article 5 of the U.S.-Japan Security Treaty. According to the official statement, Austin and Kishi discussed a broad range of security issues. The Senkaku Islands have long been an object of disputes between China and Japan.
The U.S. military has said that a U.S. aircraft carrier group led by the USS Theodore Roosevelt has entered the South China Sea. The U.S. Indo-Pacific Command said in a statement that the strike group entered the South China Sea on Saturday. The same day, Taiwan was reported a large incursion of Chinese bombers and fighter jets into its air defense identification zone in the vicinity of the Pratas Islands. The U.S. said the carrier strike group was in the South China Sea to conduct routine operations to ensure freedom of the seas, build partnerships that foster maritime security. The announcement comes just days after Joe Biden was sworn in as U.S. President. Earlier, Biden's nominee for Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, told that there was no doubt China posed the most significant challenge to the United States of any nation. Months after the story of dubious flying license pilots case in Pakistan broke out, United Nations has cautioned its agency staff not to travel by any Pakistan-registered airline over safety concerns. The advisory was issued by the UN Security Management System, UNSMS. It said due to an ongoing investigation by the Civil Aviation Authority of Pakistan into dubious licenses, caution is advised about the use of Pakistan-registered air operators. UN advisory has been recommended to agencies including the World Health Organization WHO, UN High Commission for Refugees, UN Development Programme, Food and Agriculture Organization and many others. In the light of this development, UN officials working in Pakistan cannot travel by any Pakistan-registered airline even within the Pakistan. In December last year, European Union Aviation Safety Agency EASA had extended a ban on Pakistan International Airlines for 3 months. PIA has suffered a loss of billions of rupees since the suspension of flight operations to and from the European Union and the United Kingdom.
The 19th meeting of the Joint Steering Committee on India-Bangladesh Cooperation in the Energy Sector was held in Dhaka yesterday. The Steering Committee took stock of the progress of implementation of the decisions taken during the last meeting of the Joint Working Group, JWG, and Joint Steering Committee, JSC. According to the press release issued by the High Commission of India in Dhaka, the meeting also discussed the status of 1,320 megawatt Maitri Super Thermal Power Project at Rampal. Detailed discussions were held on power trade between India and Bangladesh through various interconnections. The meeting discussed ways for further enhancing the cooperation in the energy sector. India and Bangladesh have set up the institutional mechanism of JSC and JWG for reviewing and enhancing bilateral cooperation in the power sector between the two countries. The last meetings were held in March 2020 in Udaipur in India. The Indian delegation was led by the Power Secretary Sanjeev Nandan Sahai, while Power Secretary Mohammad Habibur Rahman represented Bangladesh at the meeting. Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was inspired by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, said the Information Minister of Bangladesh Dr. Hassan Mahmood. Paying rich tributes to Netaji Subhash Bose in Dhaka on Sunday, Dr. Mahmood said that Bangabandhu had written in his unfinished autobiography, Osho Mapto Atma Jiboni, that he was attracted to the leadership of Netaji from his childhood and inspired by him. He said that the contribution of Netaji in the freedom movement of India will always be written in golden letters. Speaking at a seminar on the occasion of the 125th birth anniversary of Netaji Subhash Bose in Dhaka on Sunday, Dr. Hassan also spoke about India-Bangladesh relationship. He said that the cooperation of India was very helpful in achieving the progress of Bangladesh. He said that India and Bangladesh friendship was forging ahead with strengthening of the alliance and expanding the regional and people-to-people contact, which will help in the development of the region, said the official press release. The minister said that 20 lakh COVID-19 vaccines received from India as gift was a unique example of love and friendship between the two countries. He also recalled the sacrifice of Indian soldiers during the liberation war of Bangladesh and the shelter given to close to 1 crore Bangladesh refugees during that period. High Commissioner of India to Bangladesh, Vikram Doraiswamy, said that the celebration of Netaji's birth anniversary in Bangladesh was a touching event. He expressed the hope that the close ties between India and Bangladesh will be further strengthened in days to come. The United Arab Emirates on Sunday said that it has decided to establish an embassy in the city of Tel Aviv in Israel. Both the countries had agreed to normalize relations in August.
In our potpourri segment, a tribute from the world news team to the doyen of classical Hindustani music from Karnataka, Pandit Bhimsen Joshi, the musical maestro who had a mastery over the beats. Pandit Ji was considered a purist and refrained from experimental forms of music. A member of the Kirana Gharana, he is renowned for the Khayal form of singing as well as for his popular renditions of devotional music. The rendition of bhajans and abhangs reflects his class.
Kaya nahi teri nahi theeri, Kaya nahi teri nahi theeri, Kaya nahi teri nahi theeri.
He was honored with Bharat Ratna in 2008. On being conferred with Bharat Ratna, Pandit Bhimsen Joshi said he accepts this honor on behalf of the proponents of classical Hindustani music who have dedicated their lives to the music.
Mile sur mera tumhara, to sur bane hamara. सुर की नदियाँ हर दिशा से बहके सागर में मिले, बादलों का रूप लेकर बरसे हल्के हल्के, मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा तो सुर बने हमारा.
This is All India Radio giving you the world news.
3 steps to stay protected and stay safe from COVID-19. Wear face mask, 2 gaz ki duri to maintain social distancing, maintain hand and face hygiene.
Welcome back. In our Hotspot segment, we bring you today the glimpses of the magic of cinema at the 51st edition of the International Film Festival of India, IFFI, in Western Indian state of Goa. The event came to a close this evening with a grand finale at the Shyama Prasad Stadium near Panaji. Into the Darkness, a film from Denmark, won the prestigious Golden Peacock Award this year. More from our Panaji correspondent.
Indian Personality of the Year award was given to the Biswajit Chatterjee. He expressed gratitude to the Government of India for conferring the prestigious award to him. Into the Darkness, a film from the Denmark, won the prestigious Golden Peacock Award in the 51st IFFI held at the Panji, Goa. Minister of State for the Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Babul Supriyo, said that cinema shapes our emotions and render different dimensions to view life. India produces the largest number of the cinemas in the world, he added. Chief guest, renowned actress Zinat Aman, said that the cinemas have entertaining and educating values by its unique and charming narratives. Cinema has ability to reach the hearts, she added. Governor of Goa, Bhagat Singh Koshari, opined that the cinema and all other arts emanate primarily from the heart. Cinema not only unites our country but also neighboring countries, he added. Chief Minister of Goa, Dr. Pramod Sawant, expressed satisfaction for the great success of IFFI despite having difficulties due to the pandemic. Goa government has decided to lay thrust on the ecotourism, he added. Secretary Information and Broadcasting Ministry Amit Khare said that this IFFI signified this time triumph of human spirit over the pandemic. It has proved India's special ability to conduct such an event on a hybrid mode, he added. With the Mukesh Thali, Tushar Dado for AR News from Panji, Goa.
The 51st edition was inaugurated in Panaji, Goa on 16th of January. The opening ceremony was held at Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Stadium in the presence of Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar, Goa Chief Minister Dr. Pramod Sawant and Kannada film actor Sudeep. The international jury at this edition of IFFI in Goa had eminent filmmakers from across the world. Pablo Cesar of Argentina was the chairman of the jury. The other jury members were Prasanna Vittanage of Sri Lanka, Abu Bakr Shauki of Austria, Priyadarshan of India and Rubaiyat Hussain of Bangladesh. Argentine filmmaker Pablo Cesar has contributed to the African cinema by making the critically acclaimed films Equinox, The Garden of the Roses, Los Dioses de Agua and Aphrodite.
Sacaron esos conocimientos. En el principio era la nada, hasta que una vibración se expandió y apareció el sonido. 8 seres inmortales llegaron al planeta. Su esencia era el agua.
Biswajit Chatterjee, veteran actor, producer, director and singer of Hindi and Bengali cinema, was conferred with the Indian Personality of the Year award. This year around 200 screenings took place in physical format. The IFFI opened with the screening of Danish filmmaker Thomas Vinterberg's Another Round at Kala Academy.
Afhandling. Daglig indtagelse af alkohol er tilsat til konstant niveau på 0,5 promille. Med henblik på indsamling af evidens, psykologiske og psykoretoriske følgevirkninger samt undersøgelse af forøget social og faglig ydeevne. Så det er kun i arbejdstiden, vi drikker, ikke? Men det er jo ligesom Hemingway. Vi drikker ikke efter 8 og ikke i weekend.
Hey, klar!
Tributes were paid to legendary filmmaker Satyajit Ray as a salient feature of the festival. Veteran actor Dhritiman Chatterjee was the chief guest for the event. Satyajit Ray's retrospective section was inaugurated with the inaugural film Pather Panchali. Ray's first film Pather Panchali, released in 1955, won 11 international prizes, including the inaugural Best Human Document Award at the 1956 Cannes Film Festival.
Other films of Satyajit Ray included Charulata, a film based upon the 1901 novella Nastar Nair, The Broken Nest by Rabindranath Tagore. Sonar Kela is a whodunit featuring Satyajit Ray's fictional super sleuth Feluda based in the picturesque landscape of Jaisalmer. Ghare Bhare is a 1984 Bengali romantic drama based upon the 1916 novel of the same name by Rabindranath Tagore. Let us listen to a rare interview of the filmmaker from the archives of India's public broadcaster Doordarshan on the topic.
When you are doing a theme which is concerned with the contemporary urban society, you can't use conventional classical Indian music instruments like the sitar and so on. They just don't go with the theme. So I decided to use a combination of Western and Eastern instruments, and I had always been interested in Western music, and I was also familiar with the Western style of notation. So I decided, and since I was getting too many ideas of my own, and it's not always very satisfactory to have to dictate great musicians like Vilayat Khan and Ali Akbar. And it threatened our friendship on a personal level, so I decided to do it on my own. And now more and more I use less and less music, I find, because I can use the mixing facilities have improved, and I can use a more creative soundtrack whereby one can use actual sounds almost as you use music to suggest moods and things like that. In a city story, you can use in a Calcutta story in John Orno. Actually, the city itself provided the noise of traffic and that sort of thing, and it's provided the mood building soundtrack, you know.
পাড়া দেখছো সোমনাথ, রাস্তার দুই দিকে খাড়াই উঠে গেছে সব বাড়ি, এইখানেই লক্ষ্মীর বাস।
The 51st IFFI paid tribute to Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose on the occasion of his 125th birth anniversary on 23rd of January by screening the film Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, The Forgotten Hero.
आप ही ने तो मुझे पहली बार कांग्रेस का राष्ट्रपति बनाया था, जबकि मैं देश निकाले पे था। आज जबकि मैं खुद जीता हूँ, आप मुझे नहीं चाहते कि विश्व युद्ध का फायदा उठाकर अगर हमने अंग्रेजों को बाहर नहीं धकेला तो ऐसा मौका फिर नहीं आएगा। फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर में भी तो हमने उनकी मदद की थी, बदले में हमें क्या मिला बापू? रॉलेट एक्ट, जलियांवाला बाग। इस बार भी अगर हम चूक गए बापू तो शिकंजा इस कदर कस जाएगा कि हम सदियों तक गुलाम रहेंगे। कांग्रेस के तरीकों में अब कोई दम नहीं रहा आबिद। हमें अपनी फौज बनाकर हिंदुस्तान को आजाद करना पड़ेगा और जर्मनी इसमें हमारी मदद करेगा। हमने इस मेमोरेंडम में हिटलर से आजाद हिंदुस्तान की आर्जी हुकूमत के लिए मान्यता मांगी है।
जर्मन गार्ड साथ ले लीजिए।
पहरेदारों की जरूरत दुश्मन से मिलते वक्त होती है, अपनों से नहीं।
आज भारत माता हमें उसी हक और सच्चाई की जंग लड़ने के लिए पुकार रही है। आज आपको तय करना है, आपको शहीद होना है या यहीं इसी जेल में सड़ सड़ के मरना है।
The 51st edition of the International Film Festival of India, IFFI, honored the renowned Italian cinematographer, Mr. Vittorio Storaro, with the prestigious Lifetime Achievement Award. He has received 3 Academy Awards for Best Cinematography for the films and is one of the 3 living persons who has won the award thrice. Apocalypse Now, Francis Coppola's 1979 visionary Vietnam War epic, is now regarded as a modern classic.
This is the end, beautiful friend. This is the end, my only friend, the end.
IFFI in Paranji paid homage to Dada Saheb on the occasion of his 150th birth anniversary. Chandrasekhar Pusalkar, grandson of the father of the Indian cinema, Dada Saheb Phalke, spoke on the sidelines and said that Dada Saheb Phalke was the visionary who propagated Make in India and brought Atmanirbharta to the Indian cinema sector. In his films, Dada Saheb always used local artists and propagated the inclusion of indigenous locations and technical support. The year 2020 was a somber year for the world of cinema. The year was beset with the bereavement of many stalwarts from the filmmaking world. the 51st IFFY observed the passing away of the many who carved out a name for themselves internationally by dint of their sheer artistic brilliance. IFFY celebrated their life through their art and showcased 19 such films. Veteran Indian actor and Dadasaheb Phalke awardee Soumitra Chatterjee passed away in Kolkata last year. Considered a towering cultural icon of Bengal, Mr. Chatterjee had struck a winning partnership with the legendary filmmaker Satyajit Ray. Renowned actor Irfan Khan passed away on the 29th of April in Mumbai. Irfan Khan, who debuted in Bollywood with Meera Nair's Salaam Bombay in 1988, went on to become an internationally acclaimed actor. He has been associated with many international films like Slumdog Millionaire, A Mighty Heart, Jurassic World and The Amazing Spider-Man. His most notable international film is Ang Lee's Life of Pi, which was a huge commercial success.
At the edge of the jungle, he stopped. I was certain he was going to look back at me, flatten his ears to his head, growl, that he would bring our relationship to an end in some way. But he just stared ahead into the jungle. And then Richard Parker, my fierce companion, the terrible one who kept me alive, disappeared forever from my life.
Hardly a day had passed since Irfan Khan's death. The tragic news of the Bobby hero and the veteran actor Rishi Kapoor's passing away landed. Rishi Kapoor was the face of romance in Bollywood. At just 43, American actor Chadwick Boseman died after a 4-year-long secret battle with colon cancer. Boseman is best known for his role in Black Panther. 51st IFFY honored his memory in its homage section. Veteran playback singer S.P. Balasubramaniam also passed away at the age of 74 in Chennai on the 25th of September 2020. Popular to his fans as SPB, he has rendered more than 40,000 songs in 16 Indian languages including Tamil, Telugu, Hindi, Kannada and Malayalam.
बरसात में जज्बात में भीगा हुआ डूबा हुआ धीमे कदम फिर से मैं आ गया फिर से वही रास्ता लिया भीगा हुआ डूबा हुआ धीमे कदम फिर से मैं आ गया.
Saan Ki Aankh and Panchika were opening films of Indian Panorama for feature and non-feature categories. Bangladesh was the country of focus in Goa International Film Festival of India, IFFY. Renowned Bangladeshi filmmaker Tanveer Mukammal had said that it was a befitting tribute to have on its 50th anniversary of liberation. Director of Indian Panorama Films, Brij Kripal Kalita, and director of 100 Years of Christosome, and shared ideas behind making of the movies. The decor and illumination created for the IFFY in Goa will be thrown open to the public for viewing on 25th and 26th of January. Now let us take a look at news from sports. In badminton, Spain's Carolina Marin defeated top seed Tsai Tzu-Ying 21-19, 21-17 to claim women's singles title at the Thailand Open.
And now the headlines before we close. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said success of Vocal for Local and self-reliant India depends on the youth. 9th round of talks between India and China underway at Moldo near LAC to defuse border standoff. Pentagon says the US remains opposed to any unilateral attempts to change the status quo in East China Sea. United Nations cautions its agency staff not to travel by any Pakistan-registered airline over safety concerns. Grand finale of the International Film Festival of India at Panaji in Goa. Golden Peacock Award for Danish movie Into the Darkness. And in badminton, Spain's Carolina Marin defeats top seed Tsai Tzu-Ying to claim women's single title at Thailand Open. India is celebrating the 125th birth anniversary of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Before we end the bulletin, let us listen to the INA anthem that motivated millions of our freedom fighters and generations of Indian youth. And with that, we end this bulletin. See you at the same time tomorrow with the next edition of World News.